and welcome back to Zanpakuto Theory video. If you watched my Who Would Win video, which, these will be up at the same time, so it won't really matter, you'll know I made mention that, I was able to find one other person to add to the list because I can't believe I forgot about that person. But we're pretty much down to the wire now on the Zanpakuto Theory videos. I've only got 2 more left after this. And then maybe I'll do other stuff later on the road. Maybe I guess I could do like a Roncar theory videos based like on their mask or something like that. I suppose I could do that, but I don't know. I'm contemplating what I'm going to be filling this in. I'm already working on other videos at the moment that I might be filling in the time with. But until then, we are on Jirōbō Ikkanzaka, who is the younger brother of Jidanbo, who is the giant that Ichigo fought to get into the Soul Society. And his Zanpakuto, oh goody, fun names. Tsunazaki Garasu. Okay, Garasu. I know Garasu is crow, so Tsunazaki Garasu, or Splitting Crow, as its name is. And what the Bankai of this Zanpakuto is. Now, this is a character who fought Orohime and Uryu, got his ass kicked by Uryu, and basically got all Soul Reaper powers basically taken away because Uryu basically hit his Saketsu and his Hakusui, Soul Chain and Soul Sleep, basically. And basically destroyed his Shinigami powers, destroyed his spiritual pressure. So we have no idea if he ever got it back or not. Probably not. Which is strange. I mean, yeah, he was clearly a lousy kind of guy, but he was also a member of the 7th Division under Komamori. He was the 4th seat, actually. He was a seated officer, which is why we actually got to see his Zanpakuto. His Zanpakuto, again, Tsunazaki Garasu, Splitting Crow. Basically, it's or at least command, depending on your pronunciation, is either flap away or spread your wings and fly. Spread your golden wings and fly away. Do. Anyway, so I go with flap away or spread your wings. I like spread your wings, honestly. I think that's a little bit better. Spread your wings. Basically, he releases Shigabai. He points his Zanpakuto vertical, and basically he kind of just places his palm top of the blade and just smashes it down, and it turns into a couple dozen or so. Like, we don't actually see how many exactly, but it's at least a dozen, maybe more. Into dozens of identical flying blades, each with a hole in the center and radically symmetrical with 2 curved edges. Now I want to be sure it wasn't like looking like a shuriken. Yeah, they're just 2 edges, but they're flying blades. They rotate, they fly, and they are controlled at his will. And if the blades are all destroyed, he can summon more just by sheathing and drawing his sword. So he can do this indefinitely. It's pretty simplistic, but it's actually a pretty decent and cool ability. Like, it was a cool ability when we saw it. But it is in essence like a much weaker version of something like Zenbone Zakura or something like that, where the blade disappears, but you now have something that's flying around you to compensate for it. Your blade is around you in the air. He can control these things at will. Apparently, according to prior to facing Uryu, no one had ever faced this and lived after seeing the blades due to the great speed, allowing them to move faster than the eye can see. Of course, for Uryu, that didn't mean anything. But let's assume this guy lived. Assuming he gained his soul. I mean, as far as we know, he lived. But let's assume this guy actually was able to keep his Soul Reaper powers. Got his Zanpakuto back. And eventually trained hard enough to get Bankai. What would the Bankai of this blade look like? First off, let's figure out what the name would be. Splitting Crow? How about Murder of Splitting Crows? A group of crows is called a murder, so why not Murder of Splitting Crows? It's basic, but it works. I don't know what that would translate to, but there you go. What the Bankai would honestly look like, there's 2 ways to look at it, and this is one of the more simplistic explanations, I think. Is that I think the blade, like Zenbone Zakura Kageyoshi, the whole sword itself disappears. So you either get a huge swarm of these, like hundreds of these, or you get maybe like a couple dozen more. I think you would still get more blades, but they're huge, and maybe they're triple bladed instead. So like instead of these tiny hand-sized blades, because that's what they look like, they're about hand-sized. you'd get maybe these humans, like these 5-foot-long blades, and he's now just controlling these super blades that move at super high speeds. But the downside would be that they are larger, so they have more mass. You'd have to practice with them more to get that speed up. Ultimately, though, they would still be quite effective, and there'd be so many of them that it would be actually quite dangerous. Like, he'd be able to bum rush you with like dozens of giant blades coming all at once. So unless you're super durable, super powerful, or just say, have a Keto type or an elemental type or some sort of skill that would, deflect the blades, and definitely it would be a pretty dangerous technique to go up against, 100%. But ultimately, I mean, I hate to really cut it short. That's the best I can think of for this. It's a pretty simplistic power. It's a cool power, but it's a pretty simplistic power. So therefore its Bankai would not be anything that extravagant. It wouldn't be, for instance, it's not a Keto type, so you're not getting anything as unique as Katen Kyotsu, Karamatsu, Shinju. You're not getting that. It's not an elemental type, so you're not getting some extravagant expression of the element. You just got flying blades that, buzz around and attack people. And that's still pretty effective. Unfortunately, you just went up against the wrong opponent in Uryu. What are you going to do? Ultimately, yeah, that's what I think this guy's Bankai would look like. I know this is pretty simple, but sometimes it's a pretty simple answer. Until then, though, I mean, what do you think his Bankai would look like? You think I'm on the right track there, or do you think you got a better idea? I'd love to hear it. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. Do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything you do in the channel. Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.